Old-timer or newcomer, everyone knows that there's no picture that better describes 2006 and the whole 2000s decade than Paris, Lindsay, and Britney, or as the New York Post put it, Bimbo Summit. Probably the most iconic photo of the it girls of the blackout years, this is the story of how Lindsay ended up with Britney in Paris's car, looking like this. First, let's get to know our cast. Brandon Davis, grandson of incredibly rich oil and entertainment mogul Marvin Davis, was living it up in Hollywood in 2006, making a name for himself by sleeping with the most popular it girls of the time. He was also incredibly greasy, the greasy bear they called him. Elliot Mintz, a former publicist to the stars, now followed Paris Hilton club to club, helping to clear up any PR disasters she got up to in real time. And last but certainly not least, the key to Bimbo Summit, Stavros Niarchos, a billionaire daddy's boy who first hit the Hollywood scene on the recently rehabbed arm of Mary-Kate, but soon ditched her for the much more popular Paris Hilton. While they'd had their share of drama beforehand, the key moment that leads up to Bimbo Summit begins in the spring of 2006, when Paris and Stavros have the first of their many breakups. By then, Lindsay and Paris were on thin ice, as Lindsay had aligned herself with the ex-Simple Life BFF, Nicole Richie. What makes it worse is that Stavros and Lindsay are spotted together at a club, and he makes an early morning exit from her hotel room. To get back at Lindsay, Paris, leaving Janet Jackson's birthday party, what are the odds, joined by our aforementioned Elliot Mintz and Brandon Davis, is seen laughing manically as she eggs on greasy Brandon as he unleashes his rich boy tirade on Lindsay.
I think she's worth about $7 million, which means she's really poor. It's disgusting. She lives in a motel in New York.
Paris, what does your necklace say?
It's the last word, okay? We're gonna leave. But Lindsay Lohan is a fire crotch. And she has freckles coming out of her, and her is 7 feet long. Go. Now.
Jesus. All right, Brandon. Way to go.
Well, it's a long night, fellas, you know, and I'm sure it's nothing personal. Yeah.
I'm sure. Thank you.
The fire crotch video goes viral as much as a video can go viral in 2006 and becomes one of TMZ's first hit stories, leading to Greasy Bear being shaded online by anyone with an internet connection, as well as this one Lindsay Lohan stan outside of a nightclub.
Go home and take a shower. Go home and take a shower. Lindsay Lohan earns her money. You get it from daddy. So walk away. Walk away, Brandon. You're not welcome here.
Daddy's boy Brandon soon gets scared that his tattered reputation might lead to him being cut off, so he puts out an apology, says he was drunk, and checks into a trendy celeb Malibu rehab. But before he checks in, he makes sure to get the last laugh by running into Starbucks with a Team Firecrotch t-shirt, also eventually recording a Firecrotch song with Paris Hilton's producer, that unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, we've never heard. For once, Lindsay decides to take the high route by staying mum in subsequent paparazzi on the street interviews, but makes an official response in a magazine interview saying, obviously she's very comfortable making videos. Shady. Over the summer, Paris and Lindsay have several run-ins at parties, usually ending up with one or the other crying on the street. When Lindsay throws a party for her 20th birthday, she invites Ivanka Trump to serve as her rich blonde pal instead of Paris Hilton. At one point, Paris allegedly hacks Lindsay's phone. By autumn, Paris gets back at Lindsay by cozying up with Lindsay's ex, Pink Taco founder Harry Morton, which Lindsay decides is one step too far, making an official response this time to the paparazzi, with the now infamous Paris is a...
That's enough, man. That's enough.
But hours later, Lindsay decides to see the light and poses for paparazzi with a magazine of Paris. By then, Paris had moved up in the LA scene by acquiring a new pet for her coat crew, Britney Spears, who was newly single after divorcing Mr. Spears and now partaking in nightly crotch flashings with Paris. Some people say that Britney and Paris were introduced by Britney's manager, Larry Rudolph, while others claim it was their mutual pal, George Maloof, owner of the Palms in Vegas, where they debuted their friendship. Whoever it was, they were back in LA now and party. Everything comes to a head around midnight on the 27th of November, when Paris allegedly hits Lindsay and bruises her arm, which a distraught Lilo then goes to show to paparazzi.
This is a video that Paris Hilton, and I'm saying this on tape, she hit me last night for no reason apparently at my friend's house, and I didn't know she'd be there, and she hit me, and she hit me with a drink and poured it all over me. And it hurts, and it's not okay.
It's not cool.
And I'm sorry for everyone that thinks I'm crazy.
That's right.
I'm just trying to
I'm sorry to hear that.
So what does Mr. PR Oompa Loompa Elliot Mintz think is the best solution resolution? A photo op of the 3 blackout girls together, which is genius when you think about the fact that no one would even hear about the alleged bruising, as all the focus would be on Bimbo Summit. Britney and Paris speed their way over to Greasy Bear's party at the Beverly Hills Hotel, where they join forces with Lindsay and leave together for the photo in the car, where Paris orders Lindsay to renounce her previous allegations.
So Paris, did you hit Lindsay?
Yeah, ticket. Yeah, ticket.
Ask her. She's right there.
Ticket.
Lindsay, tell them the truth.
Nisha, what's going on? Nisha, tell
Paris
us.
never did me. She's my friend. Everyone lies about
Lindsay.
everything. She's a nice person. Please leave us alone.
So your
We're
friends?
So that video statement earlier today was wrong?
Waiting in the car. She never did that. She's a good girl. She's a nice person. I've known her since I was 15. Please stop
Lindsay,
trying
right
to
here.
make us hate each other.
To break it down, around midnight on the 27th of November, Lindsay alleges that Paris hit her at a party. And then around 5 hours later, she says Paris didn't hit her and walks into her car with Britney Spears. And then 24 hours later, we get the Bimbo Summit headline on the cover of the New York Post. Lindsay would later confess that it was all a publicity stunt in a leaked email to Shanna Moakler, ex-wife of Blink-182's Travis Barker, current beau to Kourtney Kardashian, whom Paris hooked up with after their split, causing Shanna to allegedly punch Paris in the face. The night after Bimbo Summit, the Lindsay-Paris war continued, with Paris allegedly screaming at Lindsay at a club that she's a coked-out whore, and Paris later instructing security at her house to tell Firecrotch that she's no longer welcome. The next night, Britney parties with Greasy Bear at the Roosevelt Hotel and then reportedly spends some quality time with him in the bathroom. Not her finest moment. The Coke crew are never photographed together again, and after a few more nights of partying, Paris and Britney pack it up, only to reunite a year later in late 2007. In the meantime, Lindsay crashes some cars, holds some guys hostage, checks into a few rehabs, and at least one jail. Years later, in a 2018 interview with Andy Cohen, Paris would try to rewrite history by claiming that Lindsay crashed her and Britney's party. We were all at the Beverly Hills Hotel, at the bungalows at an after party, and Britney and I wanted to leave to go home, and then she started chasing us and squeezed into the car. It was literally a 2-seater SLR. She just squeezed in, and I didn't want to humiliate her in front of all the paparazzi and be like, get out of my car, so I was like, whatever. She also added, back in the day we were friends, but she's just one of those people I don't really trust. I only like to be around positive energy and good people. Saying all of this while still capitalizing on the photo years later by recreating it with Derek Barry and some guy as Lindsay, as well as tweeting the photo on the 10th anniversary, naming it the first coming of the Holy Trinity. All of this and more is why Bimbo Summit is definitely one of the most iconic pop culture moments of all time, probably best summed up by this Vanity Fair quote years later. Paris has done horrible things to Lindsay, says a young woman who sometimes rolls with their posse. And still Lindsay will call her saying, I want to be friends again, even after Firecrotch. She never had a high school experience, and for her, this is it. And Paris is the leader of this tiny clique of people who hang out together and do coke and hate each other. It's just like Mean Girls, except with paparazzi. Do you believe that this was the Holy Trinity? Who was God? Who was Jesus? And who was the Holy Spirit? Do you think Tara Reid is still waiting outside Hyde Lounge? Let me know in the comments down below, like the video, and subscribe if you're new.
30 days in jail on the reckless driving case, 30 days in jail on the first DUI case consecutive, and 30 days in jail on the second DUI case consecutive. That's 90 days in jail. The court is also going to order Dr.
When you meet